Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Driven Wyld. Today we are talking about instant cash out on Instacart. So whatever the reason you have for working on Instacart, the point is that you're actually earning money, and picking the way you receive that money is very important. And there are two payment methods that you can use: direct deposit, which happens every week, and instant cash out. We went over direct deposit in another video. This video, we're going to go over the instant cash out system. So with that said, we are talking all about everything you must know about instant cash out on Instacart, what they tell you versus how it actually is, and everything in between. But before we do that, let's go over a quick disclaimer. The content of this video does not contain, is never intended to be, legal, business, financial, tax, or health advice of any kind. This video is for entertainment purposes only. It is advised that you conduct your own research and consult qualified professionals before applying anything you find online. I also want to be clear that everything that we're going to be going over is very market dependent, and what applies to me in my market may not apply to you. So with that said, let's get started. Instant cash out allows you to deposit earnings into your bank account whenever you want, up to 5 times per day. You must have at least $5 in earnings if you want to cash out. Each cash out costs 50 cents in the US or 60 cents in Canada. You may cash out up to 5 times a day. I know that sounds great, and some may like or even need that for their market. If you need to use it 5 times a day, you're spending $2.50 a day just to have it sent immediately. That said, it doesn't seem like much in the moment, but it can add up quickly. $2.50 a day, 7 days a week is $17.50, which can cost a lot more than a lot of Instacart orders. Either way, just be smart and responsible with it. You don't want to spend more money than it's worth. To set up instant cash out in the Instacart app, tap the earnings tab at the bottom of the Instacart app. Tap the cash out button. Tap add debit card. Enter a valid debit card. You'll get the text verification. Never share your 6-digit code with anyone. Tap to confirm cash out. Most transfers take a few minutes, but some may take 1 to 3 business days depending on your bank. Another way you can set up your instant cash out system is by going into your account tab, go to payout accounts, and then add a debit card from there. This is one of those things that these companies actually do really well too, because it usually comes into your account within seconds. Sometimes people have claimed that it took longer or the button just stopped being available for some reason, but for the most part, they do good. I actually like that. I actually appreciate how quality their system is in that regard. Earnings eligible for instant cash out. You can get all your weekly earnings, including tips, as long as you have a $5 minimum balance. This includes regular delivery earnings, bonuses, and referral bonuses. You can cash out up to 5 times a day with a $3,000 limit. You may cash out tips 2 hours after delivery. After you complete an order, and base pay and promo pay will be available, then tips will finalize and you can cash out the tips as well. The fact that they don't come out together is nonsense for sure, especially with their tip baiting system, but that's not a conversation for this video. Any earnings from the current week that aren't cashed out between Sunday at 11:59 p.m. and Monday at 7 p.m. PST will process with your regular weekly payout between Tuesday and Friday. Please note you will not be able to use the instant cash out if your account is currently subject to a lien, withholding, or garnishment. That's pretty standard across most gig apps, to be honest. The only thing is that as somebody on the East Coast, it's a little bit harder for me to navigate the time zones, but even still, I don't typically use instant cash out like that. View your instant cash out transaction history. Go to your earnings page, then tap view all under transaction history to view cash out and regular weekly deposits. I don't typically cash out as often on Instacart, so it's not really a thing for me, but either way. Why am I not seeing my instant cash out? There are a few reasons why you may not see your deposit in your bank account. Your deposit is still processing. Most transfers take a few minutes, but some may take 1 to 3 business days, depending on the bank. Your debit card is invalid. Add a new debit card by going to earnings, cash out, and debit card. Your bank account or debit card is canceled or expired, your bank doesn't support immediate transfers. Instant cash out isn't available if you're in Seattle or have pending earnings from a batch in Seattle. If instant cash out is unavailable, you'll receive your earnings through the regular weekly direct deposit. First off, if you need to learn more about direct deposit, I made a video talking all about it. Link's going to be in the description. Feel free to check that out. Second, it could just be an error within the card or their system. Some people have reported no problems until that one time that it took way longer than it should, only for it to be due to a glitch. That is across the board, by the way. That's not even just Instacart. And of course, if the card is expired or something, not only can you go through the earnings method, but you can also use the account method that I talked to you about. Are there additional verification steps? Stripe, our payment processor, needs additional information such as date of birth, tax ID, or government ID. Payments automatically process once you provide all the required information. Honestly, you should have set that up before even doing a singular gig, so I don't know why you wouldn't, let alone having any sort of payment processed. What happens if a transfer fails? If your instant cash out transfer fails, we'll text you with instructions on how to fix it. For example, if the transfer fails to process because your debit card expired, we'll refund the amount to your account and tell you how to add a new card. A good rule of thumb, when you get your card and activate it, go to your apps where it is linked and change it if you need to do this on a day-to-day basis. How do I cancel an instant cash out transaction? You can't cancel cash outs after requesting payment. Yeah, once it's done, it's done. That's why it's important to protect yourself from phishing scams as well, but more on that later. Now, the rest of this page is based on the Canadian banking system, and if that applies to you, the link to this page will be in the description of the video as always. Feel free to look into that. Now, I do have a couple of side notes that I would like to go over on this subject. Instant cash out strategies. Some people are very particular about the instant cash out strategies they work with. Some make sure they cash out the very end of the day because they want to risk letting the company hold their money for longer than they should, especially with how some of these companies ended up delaying our payments a couple of times. Some people actually wait till Sunday night and then cash it out then, so that way they're not held up by holidays. And some gig companies have even deactivated drivers and kept all the money they made during the week. Uber Phoenix, Bud Soda, great examples of this. Uber Phoenix lost $1,700 because of that, and Bud Soda almost lost $2,000. If Bud Soda didn't know somebody after months of fighting to get his money back and his account reactivated on Doordash, he would have lost it all. That said, though, they were deactivated for reasons that are not as possible on Instacart in comparison to DoorDash, but that doesn't mean that they are above that kind of scam. That just means that the ways in which they'll find a way to scam you and withhold your money are taking different avenues. Just make sure you are protecting your financial safety in the best way that you know how. Phishing scams. One of the most important things you need to be aware of are phishing scams that these companies are vastly subject to because gig workers are very heavily targeted. There have been a lot of scams that have cost drivers their pay for the whole week because scammers see the instant cash out feature as an opening to get somebody else's money. Don't share passwords, codes, or otherwise. Instacart support teams will never reach out to you to ask for that, so never fall for it. Did I miss anything? Is there something else about the instant cash out feature on Instacart that I've yet to cover in this video? Let me know in the comments. Let's make sure that anybody and everybody that knows anything and everything about Instacart knows anything and everything that they need to know so they can make the most amount of money in the least amount of time in the safest possible way. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. As always, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.